I've become that guy. It's a shame.
It was tough on College Countdown when everyone looked at you to explain who Bo Jackson was.
Exactly right.
That was not great.
You're the only one that actually watched him play. Can you tell us
about the legend that was Bo Jackson?
Right. Yo, what up? It's Chris Simms Unbuttoned. We're on. We're live. Sorry, the opening didn't quite work well, so we just sat here and smiled for you for a second. But what's up? Connor Rogers here. It's a Tuesday pod. We're live on YouTube. We got lots to break down today. Lots of old news, new news, games to break down. We got it all, man.
It's flying in right now. So listen, we're going to do film review, of course, because the Patriots' upset win over the Bills was the talk for us, at least when we did that Monday morning show when we're live. We are live on Monday mornings right now, by the way, in case you missed it. Right. That's going to be a reoccurring theme. We'll be live at 10 a.m. on Mondays on YouTube. We're going to recap Monday Night Football. But at the end of this, we're going to take mailbag questions because we have the live chat, so we can go nonstop with all your questions, which is the beauty of us being live on YouTube. But, Chris, let's not waste any time here, right? And we're going to talk about the Joe Flacco trade.
Oh, yeah, we got it all.
We're gonna get there as well. But let's get right into last night's action, which was an awesome Monday Night Football game, kind of a statement win in Jacksonville for the Jaguars against a Chiefs team that had kind of figured it out recently. It felt like everything was rolling for them, and their offense continued to roll in this. But it felt like kind of a gritty, not to be cliche, but like a scrappy win for Jacksonville. It didn't always look pretty at times, but they just found a way.
I mean, I would sit here and argue that was the biggest win of Trevor Lawrence's 5-year career.
Totally agree.
Right? I mean, I would say, yeah, we know he came back and won 27-0 against the Chargers and all that, but the pressure wasn't on him at that point. It was still like, hey, this is the first playoffs he's ever been in. He's young. We're going to be going to the playoffs all the time. You know, last night was the most intense, willing type of play and response I've ever seen from Trevor Lawrence. It's almost like he knew when he fumbled the quarterback sneak, which he was wrong in the fact that you have to go up.
Right, he went
and
forward,
then
right?
over. He went over too quick. But it's almost like when he'd made that mistake on the quarterback sneak, he was like, uh-oh. I'm opening up the door for everybody to say, does Trevor Lawrence ever play good in a big moment? Is he really a franchise quarterback? Should we start worrying about Trevor Lawrence? And I have never seen him play with that type of intensity, scrappiness like you talked about, willing his team to win. And not that it was all perfect, but big plays in big moments, scrambling in big moments, right? Overcoming the Chiefs and being down 14-0. That's where I was impressed because like you said, the Chiefs on offense have figured out, I think, how they want to play a little bit. That's for sure. And that was, in a moment, in a night where we went, how good is Jacksonville? It looks like the Chiefs have figured things out. Watch out for them to win and now go to 4-1, I think is a coming out party officially for the Jacksonville Jaguars to be like, hey, they're here to stay in the AFC. Right. Trevor Lawrence is on the right track, and Liam Cohn is a phenomenal head coach. I think all of those things are officially true after last night.
And you should give yourself a little pat on the back. Anthony Campanile is right now one of the big differences with this organization.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean,
Trayvon Walker.
No. I mean,
they were in a tough spot.
They
I know they didn't have a greatest night, but they're more competitive in tougher spots this year.
And they're definitely more competitive in different spots. They have moments of dominating. And their biggest thing they do, which I didn't think would happen last night, is they create turnovers.
Right.
They create turnovers and they create big plays. Now, I picked the Chiefs to win because I thought they would go into the game going, you know what, we've seen that's how they've won a few games. We're not going to do that. And, of course, I thought Trevor might do some dumb things. Right, which we saw him do a little bit.
Right. The throw past the line of scrimmage.
The throw past the line of scrimmage. Of course, the quarterback.
You don't see a lot of that.
No, you definitely don't. The interception, which I won't blame him totally. That was a tough play. Yeah. Pass interference could have been called there, and I wouldn't have been mad. But yeah, all in all, Anthony Campanile on that side of the ball, they're creative and they keep you on edge, and they got playmakers and they're aggressive, and you can tell they believe in the unit and what they're doing there. Yeah, they're not perfect, but damn, they're good. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are here to stay. They're good. I went into the game last week telling a lot of people the Jaguars, I think, might be more talented than the Kansas City Chiefs. They're just not quite as polished, battle-tested, and know how to handle clutch situations quite the same way. But that was a big step for Jacksonville's growth last night.
Yeah, so listen, Kansas City 11-0 in one-score games last season, 17 straight. They're 0-3 this season.
Yeah.
You just feel like a little bit of that magic is missing somewhere, or is it at some point like the tide's going to turn the other way and it feels like it's happening all at once?
Well, I think that eventually, the tide will turn to where they win more games like this than they lose. But I think two things here. One, I think everybody is prepared to go, when we play the Chiefs, we know it's going to come to the end of the game. They almost play that way. They're almost like the Seattle Seahawks, like in their Legion of Boom days. Let's just keep the game close, and then Russell will be clutch in the last drive, and we'll win the game.
That's what the Bucs do right now.
The Bucs kind of do the same thing, too. The Chiefs, exactly right. The Chiefs play that way. So I think teams are mentally prepared going into the game going, hey, this is going to go down to the end, and we're going to have to be clutch to slay the beast, the champs here, right? Or at least the AFC champs. You know what I'm trying to say there. I think the other thing that is real about this conversation is that the Chiefs' defense is not the same. The Chiefs' defense is good. We know it's good. It's still really good. But is it, again, like you've heard me say, and I've said a few times on other places, it's not as dominant as it was, I think, last year, which I think last year was less than the year before and the year before that, right? The 2 years, it's kind of been a steady decline. Exactly right. And again, we've hit that on that a little bit, but there we were in the end of the game or in gotta have it moments. I think that's what kind of shows that there's not a lot of big time playmakers on the D right now. A lot of good, coached as good as anybody in the sport because of Spags and everything he does on that side of the ball. But do I look at it like some of the top defenses in the game and go there? Have the guys that can shut a team down in a big moment or make a big play in a big moment? No, I don't quite look at them that way right now as we're sitting here.
So it's more personnel driven than schematic issues.
I think it's personnel driven is the first thing. And then I also think we hit on this, I think, a little in week 1 and week 2. Everybody has studied the Chiefs so much, and Spags is so good that so many teams have stolen the things he does that I don't think when people play the Chiefs, they're in the shock of what the Chiefs are doing as much anymore, right? And that's the big thing. And then the other thing that goes unnoticed a little bit is what you see there on the left column, the 13 penalties for 109 yards, right? People are going to look at it and go, hey, the Chiefs played good. The Chiefs outgained the Jacksonville Jaguars. And yes, that's true. But then when you add in the penalty yards and the aggressive nature in which they play, no, it's actually really close as far as total yards and how everything worked that way.
And I'm with you on the personnel side of things. It's not to single anyone out, but it surprises me to see, Derek Nottie out there for over 20 snaps.
Right.
He was with the Jets in camp this summer. I was out there. I just didn't really think he had a lot left in the tank. So when I turn on primetime game and I see someone like that starting, and it's not just him. There's problems across the board personnel-wise, but it does feel like they're a little bit more vulnerable against the run than what we're used to.
I think that's
because that was something that it feels like they just didn't allow.
No. And now, I mean, and they didn't allow. They're definitely not as talented in that area. I don't think there's any doubt about that, like you've said. I mean, the start of training camp, Mike Pennell was a defensive tackle starter. That kind of tells you where they are. So he was a starter that didn't make the team, and they've had to try to figure it out. And, they don't have as big of people in the middle of the defense as they used to. And as I would say, too, I think they have to crowd the line of scrimmage a lot right now to stop the run and do that, which leads them in one-on-one situations where we know they have good corners. McDuffie is special, right? But after that, I don't know if I think anybody else is special covering, and that's what they've lost the last 2 years, in my opinion, too. They won 2 Super Bowls in a row, let's not forget, with one of the best corner duos in the sport in L'Jarius Sneed and McDuffie, and that was part of the reason I think the defense fell off a little last year, and of course we're seeing it now. But I mean, when you really get into it, Chris Jones is still really good. He can still disrupt plays, but he's not the superstar he was a few years ago. It's not like you have to game plan the whole game anymore to stop him, which is what it was the year they played the 49ers in the Super Bowl, the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Those years, if you talk to an offensive coordinator getting ready for the Chiefs, they're like, oh, my God, Chris Jones, holy cow. I got to make sure we slide the protection this way. There's only certain run plays we can run at them. We're going to try to run away with them. I don't hear that anymore. And then after that, who is the next best player? It's McDuffie. It's McDuffie and him. And then a lot of good, but I wouldn't say any other blue chip superstar type of guys on their defense.
Right, like Bolton and Karlaftis are starters.
Real good.
Yes.
Real good, but again, not guys that I'm going to look at to go, are superstar, game-changing type of players on that side of the ball. No.
We got to hear from Chris Jones after this game on the Kansas City defense and that Jaguars game-winning touchdown. So let's take a listen.
I thought multiple times we had him. We just got to finish. We got to finish. We had multiple guys there that we just got to finish that play. It was a fluke play for him to be able to break that many tackles. But yeah, I think I put it on us as a defense. We got to finish. We got to bring him down on that.
I don't love fluke play. I understand it's a weird play.
Yeah.
He falls.
Right.
He stumbles again.
Right.
He goes the opposite way you'd expect him to, which
Yeah.
was actually smart and scores. But, contain is contain. And they lost contain, but there's people on the ground.
Yeah, well, that was the thing that saved them.
It's a
the
weird
fact that the left tackle knocked down whoever that was, the defensive end there.
I think it was the left guard that actually helped the left. It was a great effort play.
Right.
Whoever it was.
Yeah.
They lost contain. You don't want to be on the ground.
No.
It's a weird play. I don't know if it's a fluky play.
Yeah.
A fluky play is a ball gets tipped up and someone makes a miracle catch.
Right,
Bills-Ravens week 1.
Sure.
It's a fluky play.
Right.
This is just... Trevor Lawrence, they lost contain a lot last night against Trevor Lawrence.
Definitely. He broke a lot of tackles.
That's
he
a
made them look silly that way a
defensive
lot.
issue.
Again, yeah. Well, I think that's, again, where we can get into how elite are they up there.
Right.
Again, Karlaftis, Dana, they're good players, again, but they're not guys where you go, can they contain superstar quarterbacks to keep them in the pocket? Can they take over and dominate a tackle in a big moment? In passing situations, I think that's all up for debate to a degree there. And yeah, sure, it's fluky in the fact that he falls down and does
that
all
part's
that.
Weird.
But at the same time, I think the point you're trying to make is a lot of good defenses in that moment, it's it would have been collapsed and it would have been all over them and there'd been nowhere to run. But that, the fact that the left defense end or the defense's right defense end, left defense end to the offense there, he gets knocked down. Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence has the presence of mind to finally get up after basically falling twice and then seeing that, oh, wait, there's a gap here, even though this is my left side and it's going to be a little unnatural to get into the end zone. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a microcosm of things with the Chiefs defense to show you it's not quite as dominant, just like we saw that whole drive. And the one thing I was shocked by in the drive at the end of the football game is McDuffie, for the most part of the night, shadowed Brian Thomas Jr. in big moments.
It's a weird matchup.
It is a weird matchup, but he's their best guy.
Yes.
So they're stuck a little that way.
Right.
But what happened on the big throw down the right sideline on the last drive?
Right.
It wasn't McDuffie. I was shocked by that. I was like, what? Wait, fourth quarter, big moment? Now he's not on him? I was shocked. But either way, I think I was more impressed still with the fact that Jacksonville, their grittiness, their toughness, and this is where I think it's Liam Cohn and his attitude and his pizzazz and keep your name out of my mouth, Robert Saleh, and that is rubbing off the football team where they're a little more chippy that way.
It felt that way. I saw a video of the locker room after the game, and you can kind of feel the different energy in there.
Definitely.
There was not it was just we're supposed to win these kind of games.
Right.
And they were fired up, and like you said, it was just a scrappy game at home for them. Producer Pete is just working in some really good numbers here. Per Next Gen Stats, Chris Jones reached a max speed of 5.11 miles per hour on that touchdown. That was the second lowest of any player on the field, ahead of only Ezra Cleveland, the Jags left guard, who did pancake the right defensive end.
Yeah, well, and then this is what Chris Jones is going to hear about a little bit as social media catches this over the next 24 hours, that he didn't even try to go get Trevor Lawrence or pursue him or anything when he sees him take off. And you certainly can make I don't think he gets him either way.
Yeah.
But, if he hustles from the very get-go to where Trevor Lawrence breaks that first tackle, is it maybe close at the goal line?
Right.
Yeah, it might be. It could be. Could Trevor Lawrence maybe make the wrong decision in cutting somewhere if he sees, oh, no, it's going to be close with Chris Jones? Let me hit the brakes and try to cut, behind him. So, yeah, not a good look there. And again, that's, a little bit of Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, who are legends, first ballot Hall of Famers, right? But a few times this whole year, we've seen them, they want to lead, they want to yell at guys, but they haven't hustled 100% all the time there either.
One more note on Jacksonville before we close out with the Chiefs offense.
Right.
I thought this was the best Travis Hunter has looked.
Oh, without question.
Kind of as advertised of make some big plays and, season high 64 receiving yards, but I think it was how he got there. I thought he looked good with the ball in his hands.
Definitely.
He showed a contested catch.
Right.
It just felt like there was an effort to get him involved with what we know he's good at.
Yeah.
I think he's good at playing wide receiver, at least with the ball in his hands.
Agreed.
And
Again, that's what we want. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Again, this is where I think they have to favor the receiver thing. Nobody's going to know if he just plays good corner. I mean, nobody's going to know. Your value and his biggest value to the team is get him on that side, feed him the ball, have another weapon to go along with Brian Thomas Jr. and De'Ami Brown and ATN and all of that. And if they can get to that point, if they can really start to infuse him in the offense and make him a staple. Because they got a good group of guys, and we know the damn tight end is good too.
Yeah,
and I hope he's not hurt too badly with his little hip injury that he missed the game with there. But they can get to a point with their run game too, and as Trevor Lawrence gets better and better to where you look at it and you go, they have the potential to be like indefensible a little bit. They really do, because Liam Cohen is going to be able to run the ball. He's going to. And as Trevor continues to get more comfortable with a coach who's going to ride him and yet expect a lot out of him and give him a lot at the line of scrimmage, yeah, you look at those combinations and you go, there is more potential to be had here. And that's what I would be excited about if I'm Jacksonville. But yeah, Hunter, that catch, that was special. He shows special movements, special route runner. He's tough.
Yeah.
He could care less about contact. That's what I do love about him, right?
But what did you notice after the catches? I thought his energy in the game was
definitely
way higher.
Way higher. And, like, even on that amazing catch, the ball should have been there earlier. He was open. I mean, it was like Trevor patted the ball, like didn't trust it all that way. But, yeah, and it lifts the stadium.
Yes.
You know, again, when you have a young top 5, top 10 pick, first-round pick, Jackson Dart to the Giants, Travis Hunter, whatever, when they have success, the crowd goes, oh, my gosh, he's awesome, and he's our future, and everybody gets behind that. So that's, to me, again, where I just go offense, 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 dabble in defense for the time being, and let that grow slowly, but offense should be the main focus.
Despite the loss, it feels like the Chiefs' offense is fixed. It's in a much better place.
Definitely.
More rhythm.
I think, again, we saw what we're seeing a little bit is, running game's still iffy, but like, the pass game, to me, again, what jumps out is, they just put it in Mahomes' hands, and they said carve him up. Carve him up, throw it short, become elite at that, and then, boom, we got a chance to hit some balls down the field. I think that's why you saw Jacksonville blitz a few times, and they got the cover zero post to Tyquan Thornton and all that, because they were like, wait, he's picking us apart. We got to do something. Can we get the ball out of his hands, and then he just throws it 2 or 3 yards instead of 6 yards here, 8 yards here, all of that. So, yeah, I feel really good about their offense, and they're big dogs coming back.
Right, that's going to be
and they can't wait. And and listen, I know people there, and they just think that, like, when he's back, watch out. Our offense is going to go to another level. So they're excited about that. So you couple that with a defense we know that's really good but not as dominant. They need the offense this year. That's what I think we're seeing. The last few years, they've been a defensive team that can win through the defense. To your point and what you said before, the one-score games, the defense isn't the same. It's not the same, and it's not as dominant as the last few years. The offense is going to have to take over a little bit more this year than the past 3 years that we saw them go to the Super Bowl.
Still feels like they're a team that maybe adds a veteran running back at the deadline.
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, they're going to be aggressive. If they're in the mix of things, and the state of the AFC right now with going, okay, yeah, the Bills are the best team, but how good are they? I don't know. I don't sit here going, oh, wow, they're just unbelievable, unstoppable. We're going to talk about this in a little. Yeah,
we're going to break all that down,
right?
Which is going to,
the Colts. I mean, we know they're good, but are they going to have the Chiefs like shivering in their shoes, like, oh no, we can't beat the Colts?
Right,
no.
they got to get through Jacksonville.
Exactly. So there's a lot. It's still there to be had.
Yeah.
That's the big point. And yeah, I would not be shocked if they made an aggressive move. But yeah, I think their offense is going to have to be more of a focal point with them this year than ever before, and I think they're showing us that they're capable of doing that.
One quick one from the chat. Yeah. This is from D. Sauter 324. Right. Chris Connor, what is it that the Jags call hike with such little time so consistently? Not as much time in offense or too much jargon in the play calls?
Well, I think it's jargon in the play calls, and this is, to me, again, a part of the tutelage of Trevor Lawrence right now. He's never had an offense like this, where it's like, wait, it's 2 plays in the huddle every time, and it's a long play call, and I got to spit it out fast, and sometimes it might be I make 2 play calls in the huddle and give them an alert for a third one I might have to get up to. Then you got to be, like, when you have that type of offense, you have to say, you've heard me say some of the Gruden stuff.
Yeah.
West right slot, 72Z, bingo, you split. We're going to can it with 58 Lexus. Hey, Apple 314 hammer, ready, break. Hey, hurry. You got to literally be like, hurry, get to the line.
Yeah.
Because if you want to, like, figure out what the defense is going to do to get into that, the urgency has to be constant. Now, even with what they do, and if Trevor Lawrence is perfect, yeah, they're going to snap the ball at 6 or 7 seconds every time. But I don't think he's perfect in that department yet, and that's why it goes down to the very end as far as him figuring it out. Wait, we had a motion, a shift with these checks and all that, but I broke the huddle at 16? Yeah, you're going to snap the ball at 1 second when it's that way, and I think he's still, growing in that department.
I think if there's a glass half full, though, that's something that'll improve throughout the season.
That's where I look at all of it, and it's all going improve.
Yeah.
It's all going to improve. You come away from the game, and we come from the game and go, the Jacksonville wasn't even perfect.
And we won like that.
And they beat the Chiefs.
Right.
They weren't perfect on the road against San Francisco, and they beat San Francisco in San Fran. So, yes, I think they can beat you schematically. I think that's what I look at the Jacksonville. And they can beat you personally with people.
Yep.
Right? Just like we saw Devin Lloyd. That interception.
It changed the whole game.
It changed the whole game. And that's back to our man, Anthony Campanile. Creative. Hey, just give him 1 or 2 steps like you're going to blitz. Mahomes is so smart. He'll see that, check it off in his mind, and go, nobody's over there. And then, boom, he comes back out to get underneath the route. And to me, that was like they knew or had to feel what was coming there, right?
Yeah.
That's that kind
clearly.
of defense. Like, hey, they coached him for that moment and that type of play right there. And, of course, maybe the biggest play of the football game with a 99-yard
I mean, the kind of athlete he is at that position, not only to finish the play, but just catching it. Not every linebacker catches that ball.
Tyquan Thornton was going 100 miles per hour down the sideline.
I know. I was like, he's going to get him.
Strip him.
Yeah.
He's going to strip him.
Yeah.
And then he just runs through the tackle like he's not even there.
It looked like a flag.
But we both know. I mean, we've been watching Devin Lloyd since he came out of college. He's a freak show.
Special player.
He's a freak.
All right, we've been hyping it up. Chris went into the film room to see how the Patriots handed the Bills their first loss. We got all of that right after the first break. This Saturday night on NBC and Peacock, number 15 Michigan at USC. That is 7 p.m. Eastern time. Chris and I will be on the pregame coverage leading up to that. And before that, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, NC State travels to Notre Dame, now number 16 in the country. We'll be on the pregame for that as well.
Yeah, we will.
Pretty good lineup.
And listen, if you want to see some quarterback stuff and some offensive stuff this Saturday, I mean, NBC is the place to go here. I mean, as we talk about every week on the show, Notre Dame's offense is as good as any offense in college football.
It's unreal.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It is way better than last year's offense that went to the national championship game, right? You hear that? Way better. It's not even close. The problem is their defense is not as close as they were last year.
Which makes them actually kind of fun to watch.
It makes them very fun to watch.
They have to
Every
keep their
game
foot
is
on the
hot.
gas.
They got to keep their foot on the gas. Then the other game, we got Bryce Underwood at Michigan, who's one of the young budding superstars in college football, who's got potential through the roof, with Maye of USC, who also is damn good and can throw the ball and big and can run. So I'm excited for our matchups this week.
Yeah, and USC's got one of the best wide receivers that'll probably be in next year's draft in Mekhi Lemon.
Oh,
so
he is a player.
We'll be talking about him.
I mean,
quite
freaking receivers in college football. It's just
every game we have.
We could devote at some point a 15-minute conversation to why receivers are growing on trees in American sports and football everywhere. But just the freshmen alone in college football. I mean, the kid at Florida this weekend.
Yep.
Who just bossed my Longhorns, right, and just beat their ass down that way. The kid at Miami.
I would say that Miami has an underclassman.
And there's
He's a
another
sophomore.
freshman I'm missing somewhere. Damn it, I'm going to blank out of it. It'll hit me in a
A&M has a sophomore.
A&M has a sophomore, but there's another freshman that I'm forgetting about. But regardless,
it's ridiculous.
It's insane, right?
I was looking the other day. For the draft, I used to evaluate like 25-ish wide receivers.
Yeah.
Now, on average, I think I'm at 43. Because it's just, you go through the list, and it's like, okay, these guys probably have a shot to be drafted, so I have to know them. Now it's over 40.
I used to look at receivers and go, just give me the top 20 and I'll be good.
Can't do it anymore.
And I've realized, like, when I ask teams that, hey, give me your top 20.
Everyone's got different.
Well, it's different. And then you start to realize the difference between number 15 and number 30 is like, I don't know who's better. So you have to go farther down the list that way.
Right.
It is. It's incredible right now.
And they all play right away. Like, look at Elikai Manor for the Titans right now, Torrey Horton. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Jeremiah Smith could have came out last year and been playing right now.
He could be
one
in
of
the
best.
NFL without a doubt.
Right.
All right, Chris, we got a great film review for this week because it was the Sunday Night Football matchup as the Patriots went to Buffalo. They upset the undefeated. We were all sitting here like, when are the Bills going to lose a game?
Yeah.
And I fell victim to that right away. I was like, I don't think the Bills are going to lose for a long time. We're going to know anything.
Right.
Well, they got their challenge, and I think a lot of it in this one, what was surprising was the Patriots' offense gelling together against the Bills' defense.
I think that's a big part of it. I think the thing is I have more concerns, I feel like, about the Buffalo Bills than the rest of the public, right? I'm not sure the way they play. It's still really good. Do I sit here and just go, oh, damn, they're going to the Super Bowl and all that? No. They got flaws on their football team. They do. The New England Patriots match up really well with the Buffalo Bills. The New England Patriots are capable of winning the AFC East. You hear that, everybody? The Patriots can win the AFC East. The Patriots should be 4-1 just like the Buffalo Bills. Their only thing they're overcoming or working with right now is a young team that's learning to a new way of life with Vrabel and McDaniel and a new quarterback and all of that. But as you've heard me say, right, the Bills always struggle with teams that have balance because I don't believe the Bills are all that super talented on the defensive side of the ball. And what I mean by that is if you're really good at one, the Bills can stop you because McDermott's so smart and they can do things to game plan you to go, wait, if you're just awesome at the run game, he'll come up with ways to stop that. If you're just awesome at the pass game, he'll come up ways to stop that. But when you're balanced, this is where he has problems. And yes, New England is showing the ability to be balanced. I think I would say, like, early in the game with the Bills D and McDermott, with Josh McDaniels versus McDermott, they were feeling each other out. Right,
it was like 6-6 at the
half. It was 6-6.
Yeah, there was nothing going on in the first half.
The Bills are the kings of giving you different looks, never giving the same pre-snap look as the snap, as you see after the snap. The Bills are the king of, hey, it's Tampa 2, blue 45 said, it's not Tampa 2, it's cover 3, or it's a blitz man, or at the last second. So it's always like, or it's, hey, it's blitz, said hut. Oh my gosh, they all dropped out there just as I was saying set hut, and they played coverage and dropped in a zone, right? That's what they do. They play with you that way. Early on, I feel like Josh McDaniels and the Patriots were conservative, and they tried to do misdirection stuff, a little play actions, a reverse, right, bootlegs. I think also just to combat a little bit of like these late stems to different defenses that the Bills do. And I think just taking a conservative approach, just feeling it out that way. I think after the first half, if I would go away with one theme from the first half, I would go, the Bills were more concerned about the run game of the Patriots, and the Patriots probably could have thrown the ball more in the first half. I mean, the Bills' defense was basically begging the Patriots to throw the football.
And they really didn't let them.
They didn't let them, and early on, and I don't think the Patriots were really fortified or stubborn in trying to throw the ball. They were just kind of like, okay, it's okay. Hey, our defense is doing good. We're slowing down Josh Allen. Let's not take any chances and all that. But then the first drive of the second half happens. Josh Allen goes right down the field, and I think that was the moment they went, okay, Josh Allen might get hot. They might figure us out a little bit here. We got to start to push the envelope on the offensive side of the ball. And to me, that's when, they changed a lot and started to throw the ball and be aggressive throwing the ball down the field a little bit.
And listen to this, Chris. Yeah. Drake Maye against the blitz in this game, he was 6 of 9 for 92 yards. Yep. That's over 10 yards per attempt.
Yep.
Weeks 1 to 4 against the blitz, the completion percentage was good. It was at 71%, but he was only averaging 7.4 yards per attempt, and he took 5 sacks. He really wasn't doing a lot against the blitz. In this game, he was pushing the ball down the field and attack. He was counter-punching the blitz.
Exactly.
We haven't seen enough of that from him until this game.
Definitely not. Definitely not. This was the best game of Drake Maye's career. The Bills played not to let the Patriots run the ball, and they said, we don't think Drake Maye can beat us. That's what they did. We don't think, and then it became, wait, Drake Maye is pretty good, but we think if we blitz him and pressure him a little bit, he won't know where to go with the ball, and we'll beat him that way. And he beat that, to your point. Yep. Exactly right. I mean, that to me, the first drive started out in that second half with they made 2 big throws down the sideline, and then they tried the flea flicker, and there's nothing there. And then I think the Bills, after that moment, after the first 2 big throws, were like, hey, let's start blitzing him and pressuring him. Let's see if he knows how to handle that. And then to your point, they did a good job in picking up the blitz or calling the right protection to kind of combat the blitz. And then the other thing that he did at his highest level I've ever seen him do was, blitz, maybe somebody got free. I got out of the pocket, and I kept my eyes down the field, and I made Josh Allen-type throws when I was out of the pocket for big plays. That, of course, is scary when you're blitzing. That's what Josh Allen does to a lot of teams and scares them out of blitzing because they're like, oh, shit, we're blitzing and we can't get there. Then our guys can't even cover that long. So, I think to your point there, yes, that's why this was one of the best performances we've seen Drake Maye have, certainly his clutches on the biggest stage of his career to this point.
And the Stephon Diggs revenge game was real. On just 22 routes that he ran, he was targeted 12 times. He caught 10 of the targets, 146 yards. And his energy in this game was unlike anything I've seen from him this year.
No, I mean, he was determined. It was, I think, the last 2 weeks were the first 2 weeks I feel like I watched him and went, I don't see him favoring the knee anymore. He's aggressively putting his foot in the ground, exploding out. So he looks really good from that standpoint. And again, that's where this is going to be a tough matchup for the Bills. Because the Patriots, if you play zone, they have plenty of plays to beat a zone. And then the Bills in this matchup probably worried because they're not big enough up front about, hey, the Patriots can run the ball. Their backs are pretty good. They play a physical brand of football that way. Okay, if we want to stop that and load the box and play man, okay, that's good, but they're not great at man either. And they have a liability in Tre'Davious White and man that they have to protect all the time. So that's where, again, if they play 10 times, every one of these ones is going to be close. This isn't just like, some fluke that the Patriots just came up with a big game plan and were pumped to play in Buffalo. No, they are every bit capable of standing toe-to-toe with the Buffalo Bills, and now this win gives them that confidence to do that as we go forward here.
Does it worry you from a Bills perspective at all that now there's a lot of tape out there on how to be – it's not like one shot in the arm or flash in the pan week. We saw – what the Ravens did week 1. Yeah. The Saints' offense was competitive against this team. And now you, unfortunately, have a loss of it where the Patriots' offense figured some things out against you in the second half. Like, there's a lot there on how to attack this team right now.
I think there is. And again, I get back to, on that side of the ball, not to the same as the Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs' personnel is better on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, I don't think there's enough big-time players over there. And that's what I worry about. And it's not, I don't think necessarily like one guy or one thing. I think it's the unit in itself. And again, like we talked about a little, I think yesterday when we were kind of previewing the game all together, right? Like if you show you can kind of do both, they have a hard time because they have to play guessing game to a degree. They have to play like, ooh, we think they're going to run here. Let's call one of our disguise coverages and then stop the run. Yeah. But if it's the wrong call and they block it up and maybe run a play action, then it's like, well, damn, they're going to get a 25-yard gain here. And, yes, I worry about their defense. Their defense, I know, came into the weekend with, I believe, the best pass defense in the sport or one of the best pass defenses for sure, right? But I, on the pod last week, had said when I broke down the game, I was kind of like, hey, the Patriots are going to be able to throw the ball against this defense. Like, I don't have any doubt about that because of, I think, again, the fact that I knew McDermott and that Bills defense would be more worried about being run over in the run game by the Patriots, and, of course, that puts them in a bad spot.
So this is a Bills defense. If you're looking for any positives, hopefully at some point they get back their first-round pick, Maxwell Hairston, although he's had a brace during practices and workouts. Michael Hoyt, Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah.
I mean, not anyone proven to just dominate, but some kind of reinforcement. They need something.
They need it.
They need something
the depth,
right now.
They need the versatility. There's no doubt about that. You know, again, they're going to be a pain in the butt. I get that, but you know, they're the second best pass defense in football. And then to tell you this, they're the fifth worst run defense in football. So that tells you something right there, right? And that tells you, to me that, yeah, they have problems stopping the run. And that's really going to be a big problem when they play teams that can really run the ball and then just have a few threats at the wide receiver position and the quarterback that they're going to be in a bind. And I think that will continue. So I think that's going to be the first issue. And then the offense is real good, right? But, it's still very Josh Allen-centric, and that Patriots defense is real good too.
Maybe even more impressively was Vrabel's defense against this Bills offense. Yeah. That when these moments happen that Josh Allen needs to put on the Superman cape, he usually does. But it didn't look like that throughout this game at times. And Allen averaged 3.27 seconds of time to throw. That's his longest time to throw of the season. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Anything over 3 is a very long time in the NFL. And let's dive into the notebook here, Chris, because it feels like one of the biggest differences right now is that the Patriots got back their number one corner, and he's rolling in Christian Gonzalez right now.
And I think and you said, what was the time of throw there?
3.27.
Right.
For context, like I know Rodgers is usually the fastest, around 2.2, 2.15. Right. For the only guys that are in this range typically is Caleb Williams is usually around 3.15. Justin Fields is like 3.5.
Right.
Which, by the way, that second doesn't sound like a lot. It's an eternity in the NFL.
Well, Justin Fields is like, I don't know what he's looking at. He's looking at the rush and not really looking downfield. When you get to Josh Allen and Caleb Williams, they're going, wait, that guy might have been open a little bit, but I think I can buy enough time to get somebody really open for a big play, right? It's a difference there.
They hunt big plays.
Context in that. They hunt big plays. Exactly right. Also, I think what plays into that, because I love stuff like that, the Patriots are a team that aren't going to go all out against a Josh Allen and just go rush the quarterback and go get him no matter what. As you see in the game here, and it's always hard to stop Josh Allen, we know that, but the Patriots are, hey, let's not rush him. Let's try to kind of keep him in the pocket so he can't run around and do all this crazy stuff and all of that as well. So, that's what they're willing to do that to a degree and not get after him that way. So that kind of plays hand in hand as well. The Patriots defense is really damn good, and I think only going to get better here.
It does feel that way, especially just with Gonzalez back. How does that allow them to kind of change up what they do on the back end? Because it feels like he's one of the rare guys in the NFL you could ask him to shadow people.
Well, I know we got a picture of my notebook here,
Yep, we'll get back right. Yeah. We had it up before.
Yeah. So, and I know I asked a question and changed, but here, I mean, first off, you couple.
I got this one.
Yeah.
I think I've been deciphering this.
Got
you
it.
couple that with the 2 cornerbacks healthy, watch out, exclamation points. Right. Totally changed this defense. This was the first game. They had the whole Rolodex available, number 7, number 0, number 25. I would put those 3 against any 3 in the NFL. Something Kincaid.
They had to go to Kincaid.
They had to go to Kincaid.
Because the other three guys
Your
were
TOs is what screws me up. That's the only thing I can't. Now I got it. It looks like a little like a mini star right there. The Bills can't separate from the Pats versus man coverage. All is that completions for Allen. Scrambles buying time.
Yeah.
And that's what the stats showed us before. Oh, he had 22 passing attempts over 2.5 seconds.
Right.
So, like, the initial look is never
Not
there.
No,
Never there.
I will sit there. Number 7 is Carlton Davis. Number 0 is Christian Gonzalez. Number 25 is Marcus Jones. I would say I would put that 3 against any 3 in football when they're healthy.
It's tough.
It's up there.
Yeah,
Again, I'm not saying it's
no,
the
but
best.
but it's a fair.
It's
You have the
worthy of
argument.
Conversation, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Can
because
run through my head.
Gonzalez is going to Islandville. I mean, he's that kind of guy. Carlton Davis, maybe not in the prime of his career, but still really damn good and has size to go along with it. They're both longer, taller type of corners too. And then Marcus Jones is the perfect nickel. I mean, perfect. You saw the interception he made. That might have been the biggest play of the game. Just the fact that they're up 13-10, the Bills are in the red zone. He undercuts and in-cut by Khalil Shakir. He's made to guard guys like that. He's a jitterbug himself, so he's made to guard the jitterbug slot receiver. On top of that, he's got 3 rockets up his ass to when he steps on it, it's like, whoa, it's 0 to 60 in 3 steps. That's where he's special. And then I put like above those notes, I put Pats match up with them really good. That's for sure. And within the Rolodex of what I meant by that, the whole Rolodex, I meant they could call any defense they wanted now. They weren't worried about, this corner over here is a problem, so we don't want to play this defense. We got to keep a safety over the top of them. Hey, we can bring some crazy blitz here because we trust our corners that they'll hold it down for 3 seconds or so, right? So they were phenomenal that way. And then I think the other aspect that I just got to bring up with the Patriots is, see, when the Patriots are healthy at those corner positions, they're so versatile in their fronts. They're so versatile with their personnel they can play in their fronts. And where I say they match up good with the Bills, again, is to go, yes, their corners can shut down the Bills' wide receivers and give them tough time, but the Bills, one of the best things they do is, of course, run the football and overpower people. And you're not going to overpower the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots can get really big on that side of the ball. When you talk about Tonga, Barrymore, and Milton Williams as your 3-down linemen, and then they can go Keon White and Landry on the outside as outside linebackers, I'd go, that'd be a 5 there with the outside linebackers. I'd go, is going to be as big as anybody in football. And then you got a guy like Spillane, who's an athletic type in the middle, but a thumper and athletic. So it's like they got 2 in 1 there. And then, of course, the other inside linebackers they have are kind of thumpers that way. So they're capable of going, oh, wait, you want to play big boy football and play smash mouth? We'll smash you right back. And then they also have enough guys to go, oh, wait, now it's 3rd down and we want to put some few pass rushers on the field and be athletic. We can do that as well. And that's where I come away, and I think you might have saw this on my notes, like, don't be shocked. The Patriots, as this goes on, I think are going to become one of the best defenses in football as long as these secondary guys can stay healthy.
Back to that man coverage point, they played man coverage over 32% of the time. Cover 1 over 32% of the time in this game. They also ran cover 0 3 times.
Okay.
I mean, that was 3rd most in the NFL in terms of cover 1. Only the Browns and Giants played more.
Okay. And that, I think a lot of times teams are scared to do that.
Very.
Because against Josh Allen, because he buys so much time that you go, well, our guys can't stay with him. But they were like, no, we can stay with him. And we think we can also, not let him just scramble everywhere and make plays that way. But they did an incredible job on that side of the ball. And like I said, and I think you might have saw it at the top of my notes, I wrote, the Pats can win the AFC East. They are capable with their schedule. And as I've said, I don't think the Bills are, just a stone-cold dominant football team. I think they're real good with a phenomenal, awesome, maybe the best quarterback in the game. And that changes our thought a little bit. But I got a few questions about some other things on their football team as well.
Well, let's look at what DraftKings thinks of exactly that. The win total right now for the Bills is at 12.5. The Patriots has gone up to 9.5. Before the season, that was 8.5. Both expected to make the playoffs with the odds, especially the Patriots now minus 200. But if you think the Patriots can overtake this division, there's a lot of value in that at plus 350.
Man, we might have to get in on that.
That is really interesting, especially since they won on the road and they still have their home game against the Bills, which you think would... They have to just take care of their business,
Yes,
though, the
that's
Patriots.
it.
Like, you can't lose to the Raiders.
No doubt.
You can't give, like, a game you should have won the Steelers.
Yeah.
But that's kind of life
It's
with
early in the year,
with a new staff and a
and a
young
new
quarterback.
staff
I
and a
give them
quarterback,
kind of the grace for that.
I'd be shocked if it doesn't all get fixed, right?
Yeah.
I'm that much of a believer in the quarterback and the coaches that I think they can do that. But yeah, I mean, this is the second day in a row we sit here and go, the betting public is way too betting just on quarterbacks.
Always.
We saw like Lamar and the Baltimore odds yesterday when we did
Still
that one.
expected
It's
to make the
insane.
playoffs.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And then this here, for everybody just to be so like, oh my gosh, yeah, the Bills are the best team in football and all that. I'm shocked by that. I'm just here to tell you they're not. They're not. They're damn good. Don't get me wrong. But just for everybody to pencil them in at the Super Bowl in the AFC, you're crazy. You're crazy. There's a lot of teams that are going to be able to match up with them, for sure. I mean, I come away, you saw them in the rest of my notes. The only thing working for the Bills' offense is Allen's movement. That was it. Scrambling. There was nothing system-wise working. I mean, when the Pats played aggressive on the defensive side of the ball, they won almost every time. When they played, oh, wait, let's sit back in a zone, okay, Josh Allen had some success, right? That would be my thing. Even late in the game, the drive that goes down to tie the football game, there was the 2 personal fouls, a free 30 yards. I mean, nothing was easy for the Bills. They were fighting to get their 20th point of the day. And let me just say that the refs had a horrible weekend in the NFL.
Oh boy!
They
But this one was especially bad.
They were. I mean, this weekend was pitiful. I mean, I saw flags thrown, picked up, not thrown, then thrown. I mean, and no reasons. Penalties were at those 2 penalties at the end of the game there.
Yeah.
I mean, the roughing the passer call. Then just don't even.
You can't play football
I
if that's
guess
going to be
don't
roughing
tackle the
passer.
quarterback anymore.
Right.
That's the NFL should be embarrassed throwing that flag in that moment.
I think-
and then the
yeah.
other play where Cook is on his foot, right? I on his knee. Listen, I know it looks egregious when you look at it on TV, but wait, when he's on his knee and he's still maybe trying to pitch the ball, the defender is going, wait, maybe he didn't go down on the ground? Like, there's got to be a little common
bang.
sense to be
Yeah.
like, wait, he got hit because he didn't stop playing. He was literally going like this, going to pitch it to Josh Allen. So then he gets hit. So, that I don't love that stuff, and the referees were just way too involved in the games this weekend.
Another one I don't like is when a quarterback is running 100 miles an hour and soccer slides when the defender falls over him.
The defender's already low, bracing himself.
What are you gonna do?
Most quarterbacks in football who are like this guy
It's not the
are
Matrix.
6'5" and 235. Like that's what I think people don't realize how big quarterbacks are in the NFL. Right, Devin McCourty always says it. He's always like, man, you get to the NFL, you realize, man, these quarterbacks are big. So what do you not want these defenders to brace themselves and get ready to hit somebody? Right? And then they get run over and then they get made fun of on social media. And it's like, well, yeah, because they didn't know what to do. So they're like, they're not, should I two-hand touch him? Should I do this? What do I do? It's not fair. It's a bunch of BS when it comes to that. I feel bad for defenders.
I know they don't want to slow down the game, but it feels like more than ever we're almost at the point where roughing the passers need to be treated like touchdowns. Everyone is reviewed by like a party, not with the game.
Yeah, well, why can't they just do it just like they do anything else, where they expedite review, go to it? Like we saw plenty of plays this weekend where there was pass interference. They picked up the flag because somebody got in their ear and go, no, it wasn't. So like in that play there, go, man, he hit him good. He didn't even land on him. He fell on himself. They called a penalty. Somebody needs to get in the ear and go, hey, pick that up. That was we call that football. We call that hitting the quarterback. Like, get the hell out of here with that crap. Yep. I hate it.
It's got to be fixed. Yeah. All right, don't worry, everybody. We're talking Joe Flacco to the Bengals. You just gotta hang around for one more break. We're taking all of your questions from the chat right after this.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just download the Sportsbook app and use promo code PUNTER when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
All right, some breaking news. The news everybody's been waiting for. The Bengals have acquired a new quarterback, and it's within the division as they get Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick from the Browns, of course, for a 5th-round pick. Jags says, oh no, Flacco to the Bengals. Chris, how much do you think this actually moves the needle right now?
Listen, is it a better option than Jake Browning? Sure. By how much? I think that's debatable.
Right.
I mean, one, it's Jake Browning's got a turnover problem. You know what Joe Flacco has? A turnover problem. That's what I've always laughed about with Cleveland, and why you've heard me say for the few weeks now to go play the rookie. If Joe Flacco's going to turn the ball over like a rookie, then why not play the rookie, right? This seems like a move of, I don't want to say desperation, but a little bit. Like, it's a little bit like, first off, it looks horrible right now for the Cincinnati Bengals coaches. It's just the way it looks. I'm sorry. Those are the facts of the matter. It couldn't look more like Joe Burrow has done everything for that football team and everybody else is doing nothing other than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's like 3 people have carried the squad to such an extent that we can't do anything else if one of them is missing. That's embarrassing. So I think it's one trying to salvage something here, right? But I sit here and go, what's it going to salvage? I don't know. One, yeah, he's got to learn a new system. He knows just about every system there is.
I was going to say, at what point is it new?
It's not. It's like it's West Coast. It's West Coast offense. So yeah, he's going to understand that and be able to pick that up. But I also look at it and go, they don't protect all that well. They're the worst running team in football by far. Like, it's not even close. It's like number 31, and then it's like 20 yards down the road is the last place team in the Cincinnati Bengals in running the football. So, yeah, I look at that. The passing game, yeah, the 2 guys are talented. We know that, but you know me. You've heard me say it forever. I don't think they're super creative on that side of the ball. But, the big thing to me here is, yes, does this salvage something to a degree? Does it maybe give the locker room a little hope? Okay, sure. Does Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin do it because they feel like they need to save their jobs a little bit and stop the snowball effect of, oh gosh, everybody's looking at us now? That it feels like that, but at the same time, like we were discussing when we had a little break a minute ago, is Mike Brown ever going to fire anybody that has years left on their contract? I don't know. And we think Zach Taylor has, 2 years left?
It's definitely not. He's definitely not up this year.
Not up this year.
Yeah.
Right. So
he's at least through 2026.
Right. But it's bad. And I would, without doubt, and I've been saying it, I mean, the Bengals are definitely the worst 2 and 3 football team in the league. I mean, I'd sit here and compare them to some of the 1 and 4 teams in the league and go, they're worse than some of them those teams as well.
Yeah, this move to me kind of feels like they had to do it for the receivers.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Maybe that's a big part of it.
Where, they're 2 of the more personalities on the roster.
Right.
There's been a lot of weeks this year, especially for T. Higgins, where they're getting no numbers.
No, nothing from him.
No numbers at all, and the numbers they've gotten have been garbage time.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Maybe it is the veteran voice in the room. Flacco's been through this in how many different places?
Yeah,
the run with the Browns a couple years ago.
Right.
The Colts turned to him when I know it wasn't great for the Colts, but they turned to him because they needed a veteran voice.
Definitely. Yep.
Listen, do I think this is going to work? I'm not very optimistic because I don't think it's Joe Flacco's fault or anything like that. I think this is an infrastructure problem.
Yeah, right.
The offensive line can't pass protect.
Right.
They're even worse at run blocking. The defense is bad.
Right.
But I think they just felt like they had to give the guys at receiver something different.
Yeah, I think your receiver point, I think, is very real. I kind of
so let me ask you, because you've been in
locker room, but
let me ask you that. You being not only in locker rooms but being a quarterback of locker rooms, can you kind of feel it when you're not? I don't want to say losing receivers because that's unfair to say about professionals, but you do feel them gravitating towards borderline apathy of just well. I don't have a lot of confidence in what we're doing right now.
You feel the whole team start as a quarterback. You can start to feel the team doesn't believe in the offense and the quarterback and everything there. Yeah, definitely. You can feel it. So that's, to your point there with the receivers, the locker room, Joe Flacco, like you said, he's been battle tested. He still has a big arm and can make plays that way. So, maybe this reinvigorates them a little bit to a degree. But I got to think, yes, there's frustration there. And with Jake Browning at the helm, there has to be a little bit of a hopelessness right now. That's I think what we're both talking about here. Like there was no hope the other day, zero. I know what the numbers and the stats looked at the end of the day, but we made fun of it yesterday. I mean, none of that came until it was 28-3, really, and the game was over, and the Lions were already thinking about like what they were going to do after the game and whose house they were going to go party at. So, yeah, that's not necessarily conducive to winning football games.
So, Crane Boy pointing out the interesting other side of this. Yeah. Now all Dylan Gabriel has to do is essentially twist an ankle, and it's Shedeur Sanders.
Well, I think maybe hopefully they finally got to that point of what we just said, right? Where they were like, wait, Shedeur, we liked some of the things he did in the preseason. Let's see. Let's up his level of what he needs to be ready for here. We know what Joe Flacco is. There's no future there. Dylan Gabriel showed us he's not a deer in the headlights. Right. He's going to be okay. So that, I think, all those eases your pain to go, okay, we can get rid of Joe Flacco and, focus on our two young guys here and see what they're made of behind the scenes and see if Shedeur can really handle being the backup and be on all the P's and Q's. Yeah. And if he does get that chance to play, does he come out there and show us what he has that way? But, yeah, I think they got to that point of, like, we've joked about, like, well, if the veteran 20-year quarterback's going to throw interceptions all the time, why not see if the rookies can do that too or not do that, right?
I mean, the dangerous side of it is for the Browns, you got to use all this time you can for both Gabriel and Shedeur, because what if you're bad enough that you're looking through the quarterback process again in the draft?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to go into the draft and be like, okay, we're picking 6th. Oh, we really like a quarterback, but we never saw Shedeur Sanders play.
I know.
And to their credit, they're starting that process with Dylan Gabriel right now.
Right.
Like, you have to do that.
I would hope so.
Right.
Yeah, try to figure it out. Now, I think really, ultimately, if Dylan Gabriel didn't get hurt in training camp, I think he would have been the week 1 starter.
Interesting.
That's kind of the sense I've got from people I know there and around the league a little bit. So they believe in Dylan Gabriel, and let's see what happens here with Shedeur Sanders in the background. I don't love this how he handled himself last week with the mime and doing that again. I don't think that does him any favors around the NFL with the people that went, ooh, he's not professional or he disrespected the draft process. Doing something like that where it makes you more of a focal point. For those teams that might have been on the fence with you, they're not like, oh, let me get that guy that just did that and made a joke of the situation and became a distraction and became the main talking point for 2 days on a football team where he was the third stringer and the other guy was playing, but we talked about that. He's got to be more mature that way. But, yeah, I am glad to see them move in this direction as far as see what these young guys got. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly how they feel here. But, yeah, if there's a guy and they're picking at number 5 and there's a guy that we all go, oh, my gosh, this guy's got, like, superstar talent and all that, do I think it's crazy that they could venture into the quarterback conversation again? Absolutely not. No.
Dion was already asked about the trade. He said, I don't give a darn about the Browns. I care about the Colorado Buffaloes. I do love me some Shedeur Sanders, though. Believe that.
Wow.
So that was fast.
That is fast. And, listen, even with that there, I just would go, why did you have to say I don't give a darn about the Browns?
I'd care.
Why do you have to care? Why did you have to throw them in the dirt to then say, we know you care about your son? See,
yeah.
To me, there's too many self-inflicted wounds from the Sanders camp right now where I would just go, this is not helping you. I'm not saying this to point out you're wrong. Deion Sanders, I wore number 2 because of Deion Sanders. He's a freaking man. He's definitely one of the idols of my life. He's still the man right now. But, yeah, are there things they are doing that I'd go, man, come on, don't do that. Let me just tell you why you shouldn't do that or how this is going to hurt you. Yeah, there is a few things, certainly.
All right, we'll keep hashtag AskMeAnything going. And a reminder, we're going to be live every Monday as well at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you like getting involved in the chat, you could send Chris and I all the questions you want. This from Cressman Orchid. I know the Rams lost 2 extremely close games. However, why is no one talking about Stafford as MVP? His numbers, throws, stats, and big-time throws are unmatched so far. He's elite, and it's not discussed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Pretty fair.
It is fair. All right, it is fair. But, when you lose at home to Mac Jones and the 49ers, and now, you're sitting there right at 3-2, you're not going to get thrown into the the MVP conversation right now. That's just the simple fact of the matter. But, totally fair. I mean, you look at it right now, who are some early contenders we could throw into the MVP race. So
Josh Allen's the favorite.
Josh Allen,
He's
which I understand.
plus 150.
Right.
Mahomes is plus 400.
Okay, Mahomes, okay.
I want you to guess the next one because after that it is Stafford.
Okay, I was going to say Daniel Jones.
No, but that's not nuts. Another good quarterback.
Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, Baker would have got there. I mean, that to me, if I was going to name the list right now, I would go, yeah, Josh Allen. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and tell you I'm a little surprised Mahomes is there. All right, I'm gonna say that. Not that you know what I think of Mahomes.
Right.
He's the greatest ever. But as the stats and the record go to like you're second in the MVP voting again, is everybody just gonna throw their freaking money at quarterbacks all the time, or are we gonna watch the game and evaluate teams a little bit? We just saw a team dominate the Super Bowl with a quarterback that is not a top 10 quarterback, with the 29th passing offense in football, the lowest passing offense to ever win the Super Bowl, and we're still like quarterback. And I just don't get that. I don't get that. That's the Eagles I was explaining for everybody out there.
It's kind of a broken award, though.
Well, I know. It's annoying.
Yeah, the Heisman was teetering this way, and I was glad Travis Hunter won it last year.
Jonathan Taylor probably deserved to be in the conversation, too, with the Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Puka.
You know, you could throw in Puka. Jared Goff probably deserves to be in there as well. Baker, we hit that. Yeah, so, I mean, to me, those are the names right now that are early contenders for an award we shouldn't be talking about yet anyways.
You know who my favorite dark horse is right now?
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is 30-1.
Oh,
He's plus 3,000.
Yeah.
So right now, Dak has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He has 12 quarterbacks ahead of him.
Right.
And why I say I like him at plus 3,000, they play the Panthers, Commanders.
Right.
Okay, Broncos is going to be tough.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hide from that.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Raiders.
Oh, if they get CD Lamb back, right? They can move the ball against all those teams.
If they go 4-1 in that stretch,
Yeah.
Dak
And
Prescott
put up
is
numbers.
not plus 3,000 anymore. He's
agree
probably
with
plus
that.
1,200.
He's playing football about as good as anybody there is in the game
Yep.
right now. So he's probably another guy. Yeah, if they had a little bit better record, you'd go definitely in that conversation. But for me, the guy under the most pressure in football this year might have been Dak Prescott with what he was being paid and how he had played the last few years. Right now, he's earning that paycheck in a big way.
All right, we got one more here from the chat. This is from Viking Fan 284. Vikes question: given Darnold and Daniel Jones' success and Minnesota's injuries/offensive struggles this year, does it feel like they blew the opportunity to be a contender this year with the quarterback call?
Well, I mean, yes, but they were in a tough spot.
They wanted Jones back, though. That was public.
Definitely.
Like he chose, and he chose correctly,
Yeah.
to go somewhere he knew he'd win the job.
Right.
And Shane Steichen's been perfect for him.
No, but I think he thought about staying there in Minnesota too. I do think he thought, because he saw, like anybody that's been with O'Connell, they all go, holy shit, he's taught me things and does things that I've never seen another offense do. He gets guys open like I've never seen anybody ever in my career get people open. So I think there was thoughts. I know there was thoughts of if Sam Darnold didn't play good, if the wild card game, they were telling Daniel Jones, like, be ready. Be ready. That's how highly they thought of Daniel Jones. That's why you've heard me say before, there's a huge disconnect of what the public thinks about Daniel Jones and what the league thinks about Daniel Jones. The league thinks he's really damn good. I have always been there's really damn. I'm the guy that got dragged and said he's every bit as good as Jalen Hurts a few years ago. Yeah, and how we feeling about that combo now, huh? Let me tell you. All right? So, yeah, with all that. But, yes, this is where the Vikings put themselves in this spot. They decided they want to move on from Kirk Cousins. Then they ended up having to draft J.J. McCarthy. And within that, yeah, they wanted to set the table so he could take over and be the guy. Now, they thought about flirting with Aaron Rodgers a little bit.
Right. It seems like Rodgers was waiting and wondering.
Well, because the
Why wouldn't
Vikings,
you?
I think, went through a part of going like, wait, do we want to wait for J.J. McCarthy's growth? We kind of have a team right now that's ready to win and like maybe go to the Super Bowl. Do we want to do that? So it was a tough decision there. I totally get that. But I think they were done with Darnold. And the Daniel Jones thing is one, he didn't want to your point. Two, like, it took a special environment and place to make him the starter because, let's be serious, everybody's going to have revisionist history. If they even just named him the starter right away in most places, they'd gone, oh, my gosh, Daniel Jones. Yep. And some people did that in Indianapolis, just so you know. That was too. But they had a quarterback there that nobody was totally believing in, and they're Indianapolis where they don't get the national media attention to where it was okay there. And it worked. And now he gets to show you what he's got. But that's a tough one. But this is the bed they made, and they're going to have to deal with this here.
It's the weird problem the league has right now of quarterback development and patience and your timeline with your roster.
Right.
Like, it's so hard to line them up.
Exactly right.
It's so freaking hard.
It is.
And there's countless examples. Look at the Bears wanted to draft Caleb Williams, but they didn't want to fire the staff that felt like they were already kind of dead in the water.
Yeah.
So they kind of wasted a year of Caleb Williams,
Right.
and then they fired the staff.
Right.
But they wasted the year.
Right.
NFL timelines, I think, are the hardest thing to master.
I don't disagree there at all.
That's why when teams rather wait long to fire someone when they have something going, because it's difficult.
Yes, yeah, I think that's a
That's
valid point.
Think of all the buzz right now around Lamar and Harbaugh in Baltimore.
Right.
Everyone's like, this has to be it for Harbaugh, and then it's not easy to start over, especially when you have an MVP caliber quarterback there.
No, and it's not always easy to go all in on a quarterback that's in the second year of the league, and you go, wait, he's just in the second year, but we got to go all in now because he's got a rookie quarterback contract, and now's the time to go. Right? It is. It's all odd, but it's an unbelievable balancing act in the modern day NFL, and that's why it's amazing some of these teams continue to stay up there year after year, where you go, wait, it's so made for it to be equal, and other teams come up and be competitive, yet we see a few teams that have kind of mastered the system and know what to do there.
All right, another show in the books. Another live show in the books.
Another live show.
We're rolling right now.
I like it. We're rolling live, baby. That's what we do. Chris Simms Unbuttoned, Connor Rogers. Hope everybody enjoyed the YouTube live special. Like Connor has said many a times, Monday, Tuesday, we are going to be live every week, so check us out. Wednesday pod, coming up. We're going to break down some more games from last week. We're going to look forward a little bit, so check us out Wednesday. It won't be live on YouTube. It'll just be wherever you usually get your podcast. All right, everybody subscribe, rate, review. You know where to find us. Connor Rogers, you the man as always. All right, everybody, be good. Have a good Tuesday. We'll see you Wednesday afternoon.